Hello everybody and welcome back to the Pichonnière Valley. So I have made a slight change now. We have installed the realistic livestock mod to make it sort of more in keeping into this, which I forget who it was. I will check who mentioned to put it in, and I will give you a mention. So we've installed that on, and we've just come to the store now because I want to have a look at planters, because we have moved on 2 months. So if we go onto here, I'm sure did I not put that other planter in? Interesting. We've got this one, but I'm sure I put a bigger one in, unless is it in over here? Let's just try to find it. There it is. I hadn't installed it into this Let's Play. So it is the Tim PSK 4, 250 litres, 40 horsepower and a 4 metre working width. I don't know whether that's something that we should probably buy. What's this capacity? That's what you definitely want to be buying. It's that. Oh, with a fertiliser box, okay. Our field is fully fertilised. So what we'll do is we will lease it as is. So it's £229. We can then go get some seeds. We'll just buy the one, because obviously we're not going to get it all into here. And to be fair, I probably should have brought the John Deere. The only problem with doing that is it takes so long to drive everywhere. And also, what I would like to find out is how I'm toying with selling the combine. Because with the combine, the header and the trailer, there'll be £100,000 there. So it's, do we sell, oops, let's just get that back on. So do we sell that, and then it means we can then go buy a field, if not 2 fields, or do we just keep it for the time being? Because I want to try and make sure that that this Let's Play doesn't just become very easy all of a sudden, and obviously walk our way into £100,000. It could make it like that. So this episode we are going to get our cornfield drilled. We'll have to try look at getting it rolled as well. We do have some grass work that we can go and do, and we also have to sort through all our cows. So the first job that I want to do is get this drilled with some corn, which we are already on corn, so we'll get this drilled with that, and then I want to go have a look at our cows. Right, let's turn it on and drop it down. Obviously, considering we can see, there will be no guidance used on this. So I've completely forgotten that it's a rye. Is it rye? I can't remember. There's definitely another crop on here that you can make silage out of, instead of having to go through and do corn. So I will have a look and figure out what that is, and then like I say, what I'll probably do is I'll put that crop in down in the bottom field, and then this one up here can go into a wheat or barley field. But yeah, going back to selling the combine, I do think it's probably the best idea to sell it, because with this not being too arable heavy and just having the one field to you know, to cover for our chickens and so on. It just seems like a lot of money tied up that we can invest elsewhere. So I am just trying to get these little bits. I'm unsure whether they're going to read as it's all done. Yes, there's a few bits on the edges I've missed, but that's okay. So right, let's take this straight down. Is there... I think that's the only way in from that bottom bit. We'll go this way and just have a look, because this field here, I wouldn't mind owning this field, because this is just right top of our silage clubs. And yes, shouldn't really be doing this, but he hasn't put a crop in, so we'll we'll work on that basis. But this is a nice size field to get. Right, let's go down to here and let's just have a look at what sort of animals we've got. So is that to buy? Yeah, that's to buy in, and this is what we have. If we go onto here, metabolism, is that to do with they eat a lot? If that's the case, we'll keep that one because it's not going to eat very much, but everything else is extremely high. Right, let's have, so the ones that we're going to keep, we will change their name. So like that one, change name, magic. Okay, let's confirm, and if we go like that, magic there. Ew, no, that one doesn't want to stay here, that wants to go. Oh, please don't say that they all want to go. And they are all pregnant. These are terrible. Low health, very low metabolism, so probably worth keeping that one. Milk production very low. I think we may have to get rid of a load of cows here, because these are really not good. Let's just go for, well, I was going to say go for that one, but very, right, we'll keep that one. So let's change your name. Shadowfax, Lord of the Rings. So we get Shadowfax in. Milk production, see, that milk production is low. That's what we want, is the high milk productions. Health low. Fertility very low. We'll keep that one just for the time being. Fertility low, we'll keep that one. Quality of that milk's not so good. I think we're going to have a big sift through of these cows. Let's now go have a look at our calves, see what they're like. And what I'll do is if we just nip to here. I have emptied that, but where's that gone? Has that just fired it in the bush here? That's cool. Are they custom feed bags on these? Right, let's go to there. Let's return this like so. And let's get down to the calf barn. I can't remember if the chickens, if you can do all this with the chickens or not, but we'll have to see. What's this like for water? So this needs water, but let's go to here and let's have a look at these ones. This is, why are they so bad? This is really not good for us. Okay, let's keep that one. We've paid for them all, so we might as well try keep fertility low, health high. No. Okay, definitely yes. Change name. Patches. Love you. See, very high health, but low fertility, low quality. That one's not so bad. So let's change your name. Extremely low fertility, but everything else high. We'll keep that one. And then what's this top one here? So I think what we're going to have to go and have a look at is animal transport trailers. 24, and what can we get on there? We can get 10 cows. That's 6. Spare wheel, we would need a spare wheel, but unfortunately I think that's what we may have to use for this episode. But right, let's go. We need to get that. We also need to get some rolls. So before I forget, we will go on to here, this, and we'll lease it like so. And then we want to go to the rolls, which are here. And which ones did we have last time? Do we have them? 12.3, 6. I'd say that's probably the best one to go for. Let's lease them. But right. Let's go. Get our cattle trailer. We'll load up with some cattle. And I think what we'll do is we'll sell a load. And then whilst we're at the dealership selling them, we'll have a look to see what they've got. And then we can bring those back. And then that should, obviously we're doing a backload, it should help with our breeding stock. It's times like these that I'm glad this wasn't just down solely as sort of a vintage Let's Play. But right, let's put this on. And I don't even know, I do know where the animal dealer is because that's where we were selling silage. But right, let's put this on. Because I'm hoping 10 animals, that will get us, that should roughly get us, maybe it's £10,000. So it pays for this. And then with the animals we bring back, we won't be able to bring a load back. But we should be quids in at the end of all this. Right, let's just hope we can get into this trigger whilst our muck trailer is in the way. So let's reverse back. I don't know whether we need to unfold this or not, but we'll soon find out. Right, in here, so any that are unnamed. This is going to... Oh, I almost sold Shadowfax then. So this is taking quite a few out of here, which it will affect our milk production. But anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's move you all to the trailer. Oh, hold on. Back. Move selected. Are you sure you want to move 10? I just counted 9. So let's move those to the trailer, which now means that that is full, and we'll make our way up to the dealership. So I imagine that yeah, probably the best thing to do when you're leasing a trailer. It's alright, well it's not alright if it's your own, but if it's your own it's not so bad, but when you're leasing that's definitely not a good thing to do. Right, let's whiz this round into here and let's see what we can get, what we can obviously buy, and what we can sell. This is going to be the big thing, is how much money we get for these, because these are the most expensive ones. So let's put that to there, and we want to go here, select all, and sell selected. Whoa, over £25,000, that's brilliant. Right, and now we want to go into here and have a look what utter rubbish they have. That's good, but we're not going down the Brown Swiss, we're going down the Holstein line. Angus bulls are good. Okay, we may have just shot ourselves massively in the foot there. I probably should have checked to see what they had in. Let's go and sell some of our... Let's go gather up our young ones, and we can go and sell them and see where we are. So funnily enough, whilst recording this, Booth Roy DRO7 has just left a comment on the new save game video of this one, which was episode 7, literally saying what I'm experiencing. That now I've put the realistic livestock mod in, it shows that the animals we have are absolutely rubbish, which does make me laugh a little bit. Anyways, we could be doing the wrong thing getting rid of them all, but I believe by starting afresh, we should see the benefits sort of in an in-game year's time. But right, let's go. And it was the ones that I hadn't named are going. So that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. We're not going to make much money out of these ones, that is for certain. And that one, so move selected. So that's 11 animals. Have I got all 11 in or not? Ooh, why are those two selected? Get them off. Right, so let's get this to the animal dealer. And we'll go and sell these. And I'm half toying. I'll have a think about it on our way over. But the barn we have up there, do we go and look at raising some beef in that one and doing some dairy in the other? So thinking about it, if there is some decent beef cows up here, obviously I know we've done the Angus and we have the Highland cows on Kinlake, so I'll just have a look to see what other ones there are available, and if they're half decent we may take a load of them with us. So let's go here, select all, sell selected. Yeah, there's not a lot of money there at all, but anyways, so now let's go on to here. So the brown Swiss are milking cows, Holstein are milking, there's Angus, the Limousine, oh, the Hereford. What are these? So these are purely beef, I'm going to say. Water buffalo, we'll leave them for a bit later on at some point. Well, we did them in Oakbridge Farm. So let's go for Hereford. Let's see if they've got... Okay, that one's bad. That one's okay, bad, and very bad. Okay, we're not going for Hereford. Why are they so terrible? Is it just because it's a new saved game that makes them so bad? Let's go for these ones. They're terrible. Is this where the Angus are going to be the best ones to go for? Although I'm trying to avoid them. Because I would like to. I am thinking if I was to do an American series, go for the Angus bulls. But yeah, there is absolutely nothing for us. That's a very good one. Do we just go brown Swiss? We've got 36,000. Let's just have a look, because I also, in the interim, I have waited a day. In the interim, I have looked into green rye, and so that's planting's back here, and that's harvest. And there's another rye, I'm sure there was. Was it that one? This one. Oh, so we need to plant those. Okay, we can't do those ones, because I was half thinking we bought another field, we could put some rye in, because that, I think you just mow it, and then you mow it and pick it up like grass, which I thought is something a bit different to do. What else is there? I think we want to do some clover at some point, but I just don't have, unless we do one of our grass fields as clover, I don't know. All right, let's take this, because considering we're not going to be getting any animals, we might as well take that back to the dealership and pick the rollers up. But out of interest, 24, so we can buy that. We can buy that if need be. Right, let's take this back, we'll return that to the dealership, and then the next time we're moving around with animals, and I'll keep an eye on the dealership, and if the dealership has some very good cows in, and as long as we've got the money, then we may buy this trailer. But we need to get the rolls now to go roll our cornfield. So let's just abandon this here, like so. We'll get these rolls on. Which, are these foldable? I'm going to say not by the looks of that. So we'll get them on. And they're smooth rolls as well, are they? More like a meadow roller than out else. But let's see how we manage to get it back to the farm with this, because this could be a bit awkward. But I will have a look at putting some more rollers into the game, especially ones that if we can fold them up, that'll be much better for road use. Well, that was certainly eventful. How are we going to get through here? Are we going to make it? Oh, I think we will just sneak through. Yeah, this is probably the one and only time we'll use these rolls, because you just can't make your way through. And especially going down the road, you're sort of pulling off and going at all sorts of weird angles. But like I say, it'll do for one field. It was cheap enough to use it for one field as well. So let's just lower that down. Alright, we'll get cracked on, get this rolled, which it shouldn't take too long at all, really, for the size of it. And then we can return this, and I'll make sure that we return, because I didn't do it when we were at the dealership, but I'll make sure that we return the cattle trailer. And interesting, this is struggling to use these rolls. So I really need to check what horsepower this roller requires, because I'm sure this Massey, is it 170 or 175? And I can't see rollers like requiring too much power to be able to pull them. But let's just go to here. Yeah, 120. Oh, well, interesting. So let's return that. And we will return the livestock trailer, because if we do need that again, if we've got the cash that we've got now, we might as well buy it then. But right, let's get back to the yard and see what needs to be done. So I'm just finishing off going through our chickens. I thought it would be a very tedious and boring thing to have a look, but egg production is the big one I'm looking at. And anything low or very low or extremely low is being taken straight out. So I think we'll go at that. So cell selected. So that's 51 animals and £618. So it doesn't really net us anything, but it does clear us out here. But ironically, it's the chicks. So the hens that we have are not the greatest hens at all, but it's the chicks that seem to be better quality. But surely if your breeding stock's not very good, how do your chicks become good? But that also reminds me, I should probably look at getting a cockerel put in there. So let's just go back to here, and let's go down to, so let's try find, no, not that one. Egg production, extremely low. Very low. That's a terrible. Oh, please just have a decent cockerel in here. Okay, we don't. Oh, to be fair, let's have a look at some of these young, like that one. So let's have a look at some of these youngsters. So that one there that we've got definitely be a good one. Well, that's it. So we'll just buy selected, which is one animal. So when that grows, that should now put some good genetics into our stock. So yeah, a lot of our stuff, a lot of our animals now, we have gone slightly backwards with selling a load of them. But it's in the hope that by going backwards, when we eventually do go forwards, it's going to be a lot better than what it was. But right, I think let's get a load of silage put into here. And we're just going to tip it straight into our production here so that we're ready, because this needs, so it's got 7,000 litres of silage, 27,000 litres of hay. Oh, it only needs materials missing for total mixed ration. So what do we need? mineral feed and straw, so we can buy the mineral feed and the straw will get off our bottom field. So let's just go load this trailer up with one load of silage, and then I think, do we move on or do we do a cut of grass? So I have just realised how mucky our cows are, and that's not good at all. So what I want to have a look at is if we go under silos, which ones? I'm going to guess it could be these ones that are Black Sheep Moddings ones. Right, we need to put these in. Where is the trigger? There it is. So, oh, that's too far. If I went, why is it going like that? Right. Can we get this in there? Because if we get that in there, then it should, or at least I'm hoping it'll automatically fill up. If not, we will just have to do it manually, but I think we're going to have to do it manually this first time. So let's look at maybe something like that. Oh, £10,000, that's a lot of money. Let's place it, and let's just hope we haven't done too badly at all. Right, so connect to. I'm hoping it's just going to connect to there, but we'll see. If we move on a month and it doesn't fill up, then we can. I won't muck out the cattle today, but if we move on a month and it doesn't fill up, then I'll probably have to look at mucking them out myself. And what I may do is I may just change it back. I don't think we're getting in there with that tractor. I may just change it for a cheaper one and obviously just give us a refund, because there's no point spending £10,000 on something that's not going to do it automatically for us. But right, let's get this into here because I'm sure they're short on food. We also need to try get a manure clamp up at the top somewhere, because I've lost all mine, which I don't know whether that's because of the new save game or whether I've done something wrong. I don't honestly know. 17,000 litres. Well, we'll take this back up to the top, and then we'll jump into the John Deere, because that's where we need to. I want to buy some mineral feed whilst I have the money, so we can get that into the production, whilst also buy ourselves a set of pallet forks if we don't have any already. Right, mineral feed. Will I find that here or not? Yes, I will do that. So we want. What do we go? Should we just go for 8 of these? And then it's £8,000. So let's get 8 of them. Let's buy that. And then let's have a look. Do we own No, we don't. So we need, for the front loader, which is up near the top, front loader tools. Got all these tools, quite cool really. Right. What's this one? Bucket with bale spikes. That's quite cool. But let's not get sidetracked. And that manure fart, so that can do 1,000. That can do 1,250. I'd like to go down the shear grabs route, but when you look at that and go, well, if I use that, I can get more in than the shear grab, which all just seems a bit sort of backwards. Is there any other sorts of shear grabs in here or not? I was going to say no, but right, let's find pallet forks. Are these the only ones that we've got? Yes. So we'll buy ourselves some of them as well. I think that's what we want from this trip, is the mineral feed for there, and then the pallet forks. So with the pallet forks, we can also now start to get the eggs out as well. Yeah, I think that's everything. I'm not a big fan of the drive going in this because this takes a fair amount of time. Well, there's some weight on this trailer. What are we down to now? 6 miles an hour to try and get up our driveway. Come on. But yeah, having this, I don't know how much mineral feed. Once we get up there, I can have a look at the recipe to see. But I would imagine it shouldn't use too much. So buying 8,400 litres, it should go a very, very long way. But right, now let's get up to it. And it was also a good excuse to bring our seed bag back. So although we've got... Do we own a drill? Just not a planter. I can't quite remember now. So let's put all that in like so. And let's go have a look at the recipe. Yeah, so for every 1,000 litres, we're using 50 litres of mineral feed. And a lot of hay. That's interesting. So we need to make sure we keep the hay up, and straw, there's a good mixture of straw in there. So I'm going to say that's relatively cheap. Right, I'm going to park this up now. We're going to move on to next month, and I just want to check that manure clamp. If that manure clamp is not right, then we will sort it out now in this episode before we finish. Yeah, so as you can see, we're in May and there's nothing in there, which there should be because there's all this muck in here. 6,500 litres of manure in there. Right, let's go get rid of this. So construction, that's a 7972. So if we go on to here, remove 7972. So now we're back to normal, and then it cost us 10,000. Add that back in, so we are now back to where we should be. let's now have another look. So I think that's the one we had in, and that wasn't working. So silo extensions. See, that's saying the same, and that's £10,000. There was a cheaper one, was there not, that we saw? Well, I saw that one. That's over 74,380. Is that probably a better one to put in? I'm going to say most likely. Why won't that? Let's just do a bit of landscaping very quickly. So change that like so. We just want to go into here a bit. Like that. How much of a big... Right, let's just keep going till we get rid of this bit of a bank here, because I don't think there's any need for that bit of a bank. Right, that's now raising it up. So, like that. Let's now just soften. And now let's go back to that silo. What's it colliding with? So what we said, put it... I want to go further back in here, but it won't let me for some reason. Come on. Okay, it's not wanting to go anywhere in there. It needs enough room to obviously be able to pull out. I don't want it in the way of the door. So let's say it'll go here. Let's just keep drawing it back as far as we can. Can we go more to the left? No. Let's place it there. That should then adjust the ground so it's right for it. Then what we can do now is we can unload into that one. There's also the nature of this clamp that was here. The biggest thing is, how would you fill this, if we were to put a clamp back there, how would you fill it up? Because there's nowhere really, unless you put the trailer across there. But where would it be? That one? Probably. That's £12,000. How far back could you go? You'd probably have to go about there. Do we put that one in though? Or do we wait? I think we may wait for that one, because that will work more once that shed's up and running. Which, as you can see, I've put some food there in anticipation for those animals. And this shed, there's some manure in there that needs taking out. I don't know whether that could possibly be putting a clamp over here somewhere, or getting rid of one of these silage clamps and put a manure clamp over there just to make life a bit easier. But right, I just want to say thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all liked and enjoyed the video, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.